is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Houston Rockets signing Thabo Sefolosha to a one-year deal. I was just joking around with somebody about this. Like, you know what? Thabo out of the league, but I think he can still make an NBA roster before the season ends. And it just so happened that he ended up doing it, and it went to the Rockets. Now, will Thabo be able to stay healthy? Will he be able to maintain this roster spot throughout the rest of the season? Because we already know how Daryl Morey is, doing a lot of tinkering, always trying to upgrade the roster, always trying to make a way for this roster to be a title contender. Even though I wasn't the biggest Thabo fan back when he played, just because he really wasn't an offensive player. Most people want to see the dunks and the shots. People don't really care as much as a fan that's watching a game about defense, unless you're doing a crazy block or a crazy steal that leads to a dunk. But when you look at Thabo, he's 35 years old. He's a legitimate 6'7", 220. He played last with the Utah Jazz, and he didn't play that much. I don't really expect Thabo to play that much with this Houston team. Honestly, in Utah, he played 50 games. The year before, he played 38. The year before that, he played 62, 75, and 52. So, like I said, if Thabo can stay healthy, I think he can definitely be a decent player. I don't think he's one of those difference makers like he was in OKC. In OKC, he was a big part of their team and their identity. And they kind of got the new Thabo with Robertson, even though he's been injured just like Thabo. Honestly, that happened with him too. But you need guys like this. It was the same reason and the same theory of why they picked up Bob Mute. I'd rather have Bob Mute than Thabo, because Bob Mute is a decent three-point shooter, and he improved a lot. Thabo has really been a guy that you use mostly to guard the best player on the other team. If it's a wing or a guard, he can slow him down. He can stay in front of them, and he can make them take contested shots or lead them into a help defender. But I think those athletic defensive lockdown days have been long gone, and not being able to stay healthy doesn't help that either. But what I will say at the same time, I think the Rockets was just looking for another defensive wing, and I want to know if Thabo can really knock down that three. Because if somebody does get injured, like say a Daniel House or something, I want to know, can he consistently knock down that three with a lot of minutes? Like, can he play 22 to 25 minutes and shoot 40% this season? His last couple years in Utah, he shot 43%, 38%, but it was on a low number of attempts. We know that the Rockets like to get up and down with Russell Westbrook, and he's going to get a lot of spot up and wide open threes. So he's going to have to knock those down when he is on the court, because that's what the Rockets do. They shoot half of their shot from the three-point line. So he might get some buckets in transition, but he also got to be able to knock down that spot up corner three and at the top of the key to give Russell Westbrook and James Harden that floor spacing that they need. And he's going to have to be reliable at doing it, because they have some guards and some wings that can do that already on this roster. So, in my personal opinion, he has to compete against those guys for the minutes. But I really don't see a world where Thabo is going to play more than 25 minutes unless a significant injury happens and they need him to play that role. But then again, that's why you're picking him up for that small occurrence that it might happen. And it's smart. You got a quality wing that knows his job. He has his specialties, and he doesn't stray away from that. He doesn't try to do too much. He doesn't try to do too little. Whatever he needs to do and whatever the coach asks him to do, he just goes out there and do it without complaining. And, you know, his job is going to be made a lot easier with the type of roster that they have, and them having Capella to anchor that defense. He's a solid defender, one of the better ones at that center position. It is good to always have more wing depth in general. You know, you got PJ Tucker is going to need some help on that wing, especially with them losing a guy like Shepard probably, and they don't have Trevor Ariza, and Gerald Green is not known as a defender either. It is good to have some size at that position that can really make an impact on how your schemes are. So I really want to see another thing with this Houston Rockets team is what they're going to do defensively with Russell and Harden in the backcourt is going to be a different dynamic, and you have more athletic players at those positions now that they don't have Chris Paul there no more, and also not having Trevor Ariza who declined defensively and athletically a little bit. So I really want to see what lineups they're going to start with this season. Is they going to try to go small with Eric Gordon? Is they going to try to use House as that guy at that position, or is they going to try to go younger? They have more bigs this year too. It looks like they're going to have some good choices. I really want to know what they're going to do with the rest of this roster before preseason start and training camp because it's coming very close. So they got a lot of things to figure out. They got guys that can that really know what they're doing when they're on this court, but they still got guys that was on the roster last year that haven't really officially been signed or they haven't re-signed them just yet. So, in my personal opinion, this roster isn't finalized. This isn't the roster that's going to be there at the end of the day when the season starts, when the season ends. So, I really want to see what they're going to do and how they're going to build this team around Russell and Harden because if you don't have guys that can create, it can really get very stagnant. Like we've seen last year with James Harden taking the bulk of all the shots and just putting on an absolute offensive display. But also, it kind of ruined the chemistry with Chris Paul and other players because they weren't able to handle the ball and do their thing. And they became so reliant on Harden that if he had a bad game or he had a bad shooting game, they had a huge chance of losing because they were just so dependent on him. So, in my personal opinion, I really want to see how they're going to balance it out with him and Russell. Russell is a guy that really loves the ball, but like I said before, he learned how to play off the ball a lot with KD and Paul George because they was able to initiate some of the offense and make plays, and he trusted them and relied on them a lot, especially later in the season with Paul George. And he know coming to Houston that this is going to be James Harden's team. He has been the franchise player for the last couple years, and he has led them to the playoffs. He has led them to two Western Conference Finals, one with Dwight, one with Chris Paul, and they fell short last year. So this is a team that has had success. It's just they haven't been able to be a dominant team in the postseason. And I don't really think Thabo Sefolosha is going to really help in this regard, but it is better to have a guy of Thabo Sefolosha caliber still on the roster and still being able to be there when you need them, and it's just an option for Mike D'Antoni. But I still want to see what they're going to do defensively with their schemes and offensively because they changed a lot of Mike D'Antoni coaching staff. So I think we're just going to see a totally different Rockets, and that's for better or worse. But I think that is going to give them a different style, and that style teams going to have to adjust to it. Teams going to have to really figure it out as the season go on. And that can give them a huge advantage because we don't know how they're going to play with these two guys, and we don't know how they're going to play defensively. They have been a decent defensive team with Chris Paul to one of the better offensive teams, and having a completely different player in Russell Westbrook and a completely different dynamic with him instead of Chris Paul, they have a lot of upside offensively and defensively. But it's just about figuring it out and having the guys stick to that game plan, and that's something that they have done in the past. And I wonder how they're going to try to do this now with the future. So it's not a lot of shakeup when it comes to the role players, but in that starting lineup, they have some pieces that they got to figure out and they got to get used to and build that chemistry all over again. But I think they'll make it. I think that the Rockets will be fine, and I'm just looking forward to seeing this roster at the end of the day with Abu and the minor changes that Daryl Morey's going to do. So they got the main glue. Now it's just about finding a way to build with it. So it's interesting. This team was going to be judged on how they play in the playoffs at the end of the day. Nobody really going to care about their regular season because we know they're going to make the playoffs and we know they're one of the best teams in the West. It's just about can Russell Westbrook and James Harden get them over that hump. Russell Westbrook hasn't been out of the first round since Kevin Durant left, and James Harden has. But now they're on the same team, and they have the same goal, which is winning the championship. And they can do it together. They wanted this to happen. They really fought for this, and now it's reality. Now we just gonna see how James Harden is going to handle it. He got the teammate that he wants. He got a reasonable team compared to the other teams in the West, and he has a coach that has shown that he can dominate in the regular season and get you almost there in the postseason. But they all on the same goal. We stuck. We haven't been able to pass this point. Can we do it together? And that's what it's going to really be about with this team this year. Because Russ is he declined the last 2 years, and it could be his role. It could be how they used him, but they don't need Russ to decline this year, as this is their secret sauce. This is their secret weapon, and that's what I'm saying. We just don't know how it's gonna be, but they gotta take full advantage of it. They in their 30s now. This isn't 21, 25. This is 30 in prime at the best of y'all, peak of y'all games, and now y'all gotta deliver a title together. And they giving them a good chance with how the roster is constructed. It's just about them taking advantage of it. So let me know what you guys think. Is the Rockets gonna be a team that's going to make it to the finals? Is they going to be a team that's going to be a second or third round exit? Is they going to be the best team in the NBA like they did when Chris Paul first season? And do you think they can be a great defensive team? Do you think they can be an even better offensive team? Do you think they can do both at the elite level, which is possible too? And let me know how you guys feel about the Thabo Sefolosha pickup. Do you think he'll play 15 minutes? Do you think he's going to play 25 minutes? Do you think he's not going to play at all, which I think is possible too, considering how this roster is built and the wings and the guards they already have. So he might not get that many minutes, but he also not going to get a chance to play for a championship on other teams, as it seems like their rosters are finalized, and he able to hop on one right now with the Houston Rockets, and hopefully he can take advantage of that and make a difference. I mean, that's the whole point of picking him up, is to be a difference maker, and I don't think he's going to be that big of a defensive maker as he is right now. 10 years ago, yeah, now not so much. But then again, like I said, I don't think he's even going to go past 20 minutes at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comment section below. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.